Oh man, that's crunchy. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Robert, and today I want to discuss Star Trek Captain's Chair. This is a game that's based on the Imperium system, which I've discussed in the past, and I'm a huge fan of. And it actually made it to my top 20 solo board games of all time. So I'll definitely be making some comparisons throughout the review between this and Imperium. However, keep in mind that I'm not a Trekkie, at least yet, so that should be interesting. So yeah, I've had this game on my table for the past couple weeks, and I did a bit of a focused approach. I only played with the Picard deck that is included with the game, which is considered, according to the rulebook, one of the more basic decks that you can start with. And I played it multiple times using the solo cadet mode that does not involve controlling an AI until I got comfortable and familiarized with the Picard deck. And then I played against the Thylic Shran Captain deck using the included solo mode on multiple difficulties. And that might sound like I haven't spent that much with the game, but trust me, each of these games take 1.5 to 2 hours, so I've actually spent the past couple weeks playing nothing but this, even though I've only used Picard. Alright, so what did I like about the game? So just like Imperium, this deck builder offers really cool and crunchy decision making even from turn 1. And even though I've stuck with Picard for the entirety of my run before my review, no two games played the same in the slightest. Now, one note on complexity, despite the fact that Picard is considered one of the most basic decks in the system, I felt that it was more complex than the basic decks that are suggested in Imperium, if that makes any sense. When I played with the Imperium basic decks, I felt that it was a lot more accessible when it came to familiarizing yourself with the system and the decks. Here, the first couple of games, I actually felt a bit overwhelmed just by virtue of how much text is presented to you. Cards here definitely have, on average, a lot more text compared to cards in Imperium. So it'll definitely take you some time to parse through the market and cards in your tableau and cards in your hand to figure out the best decision to make. So you definitely might feel a bit overwhelmed at first. And again, this is coming from someone who's played Imperium multiple times. But your mileage might vary, and even then, once you get past that bump, the game just really opens up beautifully. Once you learn some of the contents of the market and your deck, man, just the decision making here is just so good, so crunchy, so satisfying. The game sets up slightly quicker compared to Imperium in my experience, and it also has slightly lower footprint than Imperium, which I appreciate. Just like Imperium, the bot here is very easy to run, and I would say it's even easier because you don't have to roll dice every turn, just simply draw cards and resolve them, that's it. And I honestly consider that this box has so much content because just sticking with Picard, I've not even finished exploring how much I can play with him because there's many captains that I've not played against. I've not tried the campaign mode. There's yet one difficulty that I'm supposed to win at, which is the highest one. So when you factor in the different captain combinations that you can play as, the different difficulty levels, the campaign, the solo cadet mode, the variable market and setup, you have a wealth of content here. And not to mention the fact that each captain has a basic and then an advanced side, which adds different restrictions and might give you more routes for scoring points, exponentially increasing replayability. Even though there's less decks included here compared to a starter box in Imperium, trust me, I did not feel that there was a lack of content here. There's just so much more for me to explore just by grabbing another one of the captain decks and going through the same cycle, playing them in the solo cadet mode to get familiar with them, and then playing against different captains in different difficulties until I felt that I mastered that captain and got the highest score possible. I found this game compared to Imperium slightly more thematic, although I am a bit sad that I miss out on the references that this game makes when it comes to how the cards mechanically tie in with the character or location or thing that they represent. I keep reading comment after comment about how Trekkies who play this game get an ear-to-ear smile every time that they read how a card behaves here and how it ties mechanically to that character or location in the show. I do wish I could get that kind of enjoyment out of it. But even then, make no mistake, that's not necessary for you to enjoy the game. I've just been having an absolute blast just by virtue of enjoying the pure puzzle of it. And when it comes to the complexity and learning experience here compared to Imperium, it's about on par, I would say. There's still tons of rules minutiae and terminology that you have to get used to, and that'll take multiple games to get used to. But also keep in mind, again, I have to repeat, cards in this game have a lot more text on average compared to Imperium cards. So it's going to be a bit of a barrier early on to figure out your deck building and your options every turn as you learn the contents of the market and of your deck. But I'm also happy to report that the scoring in this game is a lot more streamlined compared to Imperium. So it's honestly not a concern at all here compared to how in Imperium to me, that is honestly one of the only things I had against Imperium is the scoring proxies, but here it didn't bother me at all. So in conclusion, I would say that this is a fantastic game and a worthy entry into the Imperium system. I can definitely recommend it, especially if you already enjoy Imperium, and even more so if you're a Trekkie. However, do I recommend it as your first entry into the system? Honestly, I would only recommend you buy this first if you enjoy the theme more and if you already have complex Euros under your belt. If you want something that's a bit more accessible, I honestly would recommend that you pick up Classics as your entry into the system. And now I want to geek out a bit about Star Trek before finishing the video. So yeah, before I played this game, I'm going to show you the extent of my knowledge of Star Trek. Here it goes. That's literally all of the Star Trek content I've seen before I opened this game. But I've enjoyed this game so much, folks, that I'm actually going to start watching Star Trek Next Generation. I know, super late to the party, but better late than never. I already watched the first episode and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think the reason why I never got into Star Trek as a kid especially is because, how can you appreciate all of the political tones and messages that it has if, as a kid, like it's difficult. Like if you're an adult and as an adult, I appreciate a lot more of the religious and political undertones that it has. So I think it's a show that you definitely will appreciate more the older you get. Now, it'll probably take me years because on my free time, I prefer playing games. So it'll definitely take me a few years to get through Next Generation and all of the other wealth of Star Trek content that's out there. But yeah, I'm happy to report that this game made me watch Star Trek. So there's that. And I'm really looking forward to eventually pulling out this game again after watching a bunch of Star Trek content and appreciating all of the mechanical tie-ins to the game. But yeah, folks, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, go ahead and put them in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.